Good evening. It's always nice to see such a happy crowd. I want to thank you for being here tonight. Obviously, we have a lot to celebrate for, and I'm glad that you are forming part of this celebration tonight. We are going to begin by asking everyone to stand up for a moment of silent meditation.
Could we please have a moment of silence for France?
Please put your prayers, direct your prayers to God on behalf of our fellow people in France. I would like to ask Councilor Almonte to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first order of business is the swearing of two new councilors into the city council. As you know, Councilor Arlene Bernard resigned from the council, and Councilor Neida Aquino also resigned. And the elections this November were able to choose two great individuals, Mr. Abdul, David Abdul, and Giovanni Rodriguez. And obviously, we are very happy to have them here tonight with us, and we intend to have them begin to participate in the business of this council, but before that, we need to take the appropriate ceremony, and I'm going to ask the city clerk to lead us in that.
If you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, David Abdu,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and will support the Constitution thereof.
and will support the Constitution thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Dave Abdu,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform
that I will
faithfully and impartially discharge and perform
faithfully discharge and perform
all duties
all duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as District Councilor from District E,
as District Councilor in District E,
according to the best of my abilities
according to the best of my abilities
and understanding,
and understanding,
agreeably
agreeably
to the rules and regulations of the Constitution, to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
to the rules
And
of the
regulations.
and regulations of the Constitution
and laws of the Commonwealth.
and laws of the Commonwealth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Mr. Giovanni Rodriguez. Yes. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Giovanni Rodriguez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will be true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of
to the
Massachusetts,
Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and support the Constitution thereof.
and support the Constitution thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Giovanni Rodriguez,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear
and affirm that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties
all the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as District D City Councilor,
as District D City Councilor,
according to the best of my abilities
according to the best of my abilities
and understanding,
and understanding,
agreeably
agreeably
to the rules and regulations
to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution
of the constitutions
and the laws of the Commonwealth.
and the laws of the Commonwealth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Welcome to our city council. I would like to inform the audience that David Abdul is going to be taking part in two subcommittees, the Budget and Finance and the Personnel Committee. And Mr. Giovanni Rodriguez is going to be part of the Housing Committee and the Public Safety Committee. So, thank you. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Vasquez.
Present.
Council LaPlante. Here. Council Toomey.
Here.
Council Reyes.
Present.
Council Almonte.
Present.
Council Rodriguez.
Present.
Council Abdu. Present. Council Vice President Alvarez Rodriguez. And Council President Maldonado.
Present. Yes. We're going to go into the public participation. There are three people that are going to speak. I would like to remind each one of the participants to please identify yourself and your address. Always remember that you need to keep up to the time that is given to you. And when you hear the first bell, please remember that it will be time to wrap it up. When you hear the second bell, please stop. The first person that I would like to recognize is Mr. Malley.
Good evening, honorable members. Mayor Rivera campaign promise of Safe Lawrence only possible you as our elected official and Mayor Rivera support of our police department and the senior officers union. Our police department under impeccable leadership of Honorable Chief Fitzpatrick has done excellent job to protect our citizens, stand up for our police officers and support their union. Our city has been such a great city because of our hard-working DPW workers. A few workers and the best leadership, our DPW workers has done the best. We, the citizen, demand of you and Mayor Rivera support our DPW workers in their collective bargaining negotiation. Fire after fire, our brave firefighters sacrifice their safety so our citizens be safe. We, the citizen, demand of you and Mayor Rivera support our firefighters and their union. Our public school, with the impeccable leadership of Honorable Superintendent Raleigh, moving forward. Turnaround plan has created more level 1 school, more high school graduate, more MCAS improvement. Our citizens support our teachers and their union. Now, in the days after the election 2015, our citizens demand of you support our senior police officers and their union and DPW workers. Mayor Rivera must know, in the best democracy of the world, our citizens have absolute right to protest in a form of the recall. If Mayor Rivera remembers, Mayor Sullivan and Mayor Lantigua went through the recall, and Mayor Rivera must allow our citizens move forward. Thank you.
The next person in line is Mr. Russell.
Good evening, councilors. My name's Dick Russell, and I still reside 34 Cross Street in the city. Wow, a full house for a change. I see several new faces here tonight. Hopefully, they'll bring a change in the council and its attitude towards the citizens of Lawrence, all of the citizens of Lawrence. Somewhere along the line, the election process, some of Lawrence's residents are forgotten. It's a sad commentary that elections are more often than not a beauty contest instead of an IQ test. On to more important issues. Did everybody get their picture taken with Ben Affleck? Now, about the movie. Did they have all the required permits and sign-offs from the city? I don't ever remember seeing anything about it on the council agenda. The police and fire department got plenty of detail pay. The Chicago parking meter mobsters got reimbursed for their lost revenues, as did some of the shop owners who lost money during the filming. The city even scored at least $100,000 from the deal. What did we get? The citizens of Lawrence get for all the traffic and parking inconveniences? As far as I know, we got zip, nada, zilch, nil, zipperooski. Thank you for thinking about us, the taxpayers, during the movie filming process. I want to wish most of you an enjoyable turkey dinner on Thanksgiving. Others of you are more deserving of a meal of crow for your actions and comments during the past year. Thank you for the time. God bless America.
The next and last person is George Abukali.
Hi, City Council. My name is George Peter Bukalil. I own a business called Trendy Bracelets. My goal is focused on positivity and basically with empowering messages and positive words like affirmations. Basically what that's focused on is re-engineering people to doing the right thing, and they can see, better goals in the future for themselves. So I had a few things I'd like to talk about, which is the meters. The meters I'd like to speak about real quick. The meters need to be fixed. We need more meters. They need to take all currencies, credit cards. The sidewalks, they're sidewalks. So with the sidewalks, what we need to do is we need to make them sidewalks. So when we're walking, we're departing the thought from being on the road and hazards being on the side of the road. So we need to take trees and all that off the sidewalk because that's, people are getting distracted and walking into them. Parking spots. The parking spots, we need to do something about the parking spots. They need to be relined. Also, in front of the fire hydrants, there's one in front of the city hall that has a parking spot right in front of a fire hydrant, which city ordinance states that it's, I believe, 8 feet. Windows, bulletproof. I think because everybody, is legal to own a firearm, and people do shoot a firearm, out in the woods, and it goes, 1,000 feet. It does end up hitting a house or a window and goes through and shoots somebody. So I think windows, we need to make schools safe, libraries safe, all government buildings need to be safe. Also, I feel as though that we need to make, we need to do something about roads. The roads, I feel, the tectonic plates, they shift every year, and we can't keep having, this glue on the, $1 million asphalt. It's really a big fault of ours, and to, invent and invest in so much money that we're going to have to destroy and put something like glue to cover it up. How good looking is that? We need to invest in the metal solar panel roadways so that with, suspensions on the bottom where they actually expand, and every year we can, reformulate the, obviously the strength, just a couple more, feet so that, it's only increments that it shifts every year. Also, the light posts. We're using trees. Come on. Let me finish this. The trees. We're using actual trees. We need those. It takes 30 years to grow a tree that height. And we're using it to hold a metal post. We need to do something about that and put something, recyclable and that can be dispensed. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I would like to recognize some people in the audience. Newly elect Councilor Brian De Peña, who was just elected Councilor at Large. I don't know whether there are any other candidates that for school committee. I know that there were people that ran for office. Mayra Ortiz. Mayra, will you please stand up? Even though Mayra was not successful, we definitely need to appreciate the fact that she took the time run for office, and thank you for that. Councilors, I would like to take a document out of order, document 36814. Can I entertain a motion?
So moved.
Motion has been made and properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The ayes have it. Councilor Toomey.
This has been a long time coming. Thank you very much. This evening, I'm going to be recognizing, through this resolution, Charles D. Body Sr. But Mrs. Body has been sitting here. She has been very much involved with the city of Lawrence for the longest period of time. I guess on the cemetery, and a lot of people here have worked with her. Is that correct over there? With the cemetery? Yes, okay. And, okay. Be it known that we, the members of the City Council of Lawrence, Massachusetts, by and through this resolution, hereby recognize and honor Charles D. Body Sr. for his patriotism and heroism serving in the United States Merchant Marine in the European campaign of World War II, and hereby state as follows. Whereas Charles D. Body Sr., born on October 18, 1918, and one of 5 sons of Martha and William L. Body, who lived his entire life in Lawrence. And whereas on January 3, 1942, Charles Body joined the United States Merchant Marines and was stationed at Hoffman Island, beginning a military career that coincided with events today known as World War II. Whereas Charles D. Body entered service as an apprentice seaman and upgraded through training, upgrading his status to seaman, merchant seaman, ensign, lieutenant, and as third mate served in the European theater on the warship SS Alabama, and finally as second mate on the SS James Gunn. And whereas duty assignments designated to Charles D. Body Sr. included service on the U.S. Army Transport 70, 1942, the U.S. Army Transport Brooklyn Heights, 1943, the U.S. Army Transport Henry Gibbons, 1943, and the SS Alabama, 1943, and SS James Gunn, 1945. And whereas from July 1944 through November 1944, third mate Body served on the SS Alabama, charged with the duty of providing military supplies and support to United States Army troops and French resistance fighters at seaports along the French coast during the Battle of Bretagne, a battle fought during the Battle of Brittany between August and October of 1944 to follow D-Day attacks of Nazi strongholds in France, which Adolf Hitler ordered to be defended to the last man, to the last cartridge. And whereas, although the Allies had captured many of the sea-coast ports in France as a result of the D-Day campaign, the military support provided by ships like the Alabama served to defeat the military campaigns conducted by the German forces who fought in armed combat, conducted air raids and bombings in a failed effort to regain military control of France and Europe. And whereas merchant marine vessels were the main source of transport of troops, ammunition, food, supplies, and arms to the European front during World War II, making them the prime target for attacks by the German and Axis U-boats packs, resulting in numerous attacks, casualties, and loss of life exceeding those sustained by the United States Navy. And whereas on July 28, 1945, Charles D. Body Sr. was honorably discharged from service to the United States Coast Guard on March 13, 2014, at the age of 95, Charles Dustin Body Sr. passed away. And whereas this dedication shall serve in testimony and remembrance of Charles D. Body Sr., who placed his life in service to protect and defend the life and freedom we all enjoy today, which would not be possible but for his dedication and bravery during World War II and every day of his life as a member of our community. Wherefore, we, the members of the Lawrence City Council, recognize and bestow our gratitude for the courage and military service of Charles D. Body Sr., and hereby set our hand and cause the seal of the City of Lawrence to be affixed this 17th day of November, 2015. Signed by all the members of the City Council. Charles, congratulations. Can I say something?
Councilors, if I may, this has been a long time in coming. I know this is, I saw Carol outside, and she said to me, wow, I guess something's coming off the tabled matters on the agenda. And it's sat there for quite some time. I apologize to you. The difficulty has been in getting my mother able to come out at night. But more important, I want to thank each and every one of you, both the councilors that sit, the councilors who sat again, or for the first time tonight, as well as the councilors who were here at the time that this resolution passed. And in particular, I want to express my thanks to Councilor Tooney, who suggested this. Shortly after my father passed away, he came to me and said, I'd like to do something. Would this be appropriate? So I talked to my mom, and my response was, yes, it would be appropriate. In fact, my father would be deeply, deeply moved, deeply honored by this gesture, as we are today. So I thank you all kindly for that, and in particular, City Clerk Bill Maloney. He wrote this. It's fantastic. And as I said to Councilor Toomey just before the meeting tonight, I said, you know, my dad, especially in his final years, used to talk a lot about the war. It was a significant era in his life. It's when he saw the world from Turkey to Russia to France and England and Scotland and Greenland. He saw all of those countries during the war, and then after the war never really traveled very much. He stayed here in Lawrence. And to hear those names, the names of his ships and the names of the places he visited and some of the things he did is very, very symbolic, very meaningful for us, and brings back his memory to us in ways that will mean more to us than you can ever imagine. So again, I know this is perhaps a kindness on your part, but for us it's filled with deeper meaning. And again, on behalf of my family, I want to thank you. I would like to introduce my family, if I may. Sitting over here is my sister Jane. That's my father's oldest child, my sister Marge, and her husband Charlie. In our family, you can't be a male member of the family unless your name is Charlie. So we got Dad, me, my brother. But again, I know my mother is partly deaf, and she'll have a difficult time communicating. But again, deeply, deeply from the bottom of my heart, you can't imagine how much this means and will mean as we reflect on this evening and years to come. Thank you.
Councilors, traditionally the person will come around, but this time we need to come this way. So if you start from that side.
Thank you all.
No, I'm just gonna go on.
Thank you very much. And thank you so very much. Very much. Thank you very much. Yes, that was
Yeah, he did.
thank you very much.
Yeah, this one of the red sweatshirts.
David, yes, thank you, David. Thank you so much.
So did he do this?
Okay, let's follow the order of business. We're going to go into public hearings. We have two documents, councilors, document 10615 and document 30615. Mr. Clerk, will you begin with document 10615, please?
Document 106, 2015, in City Council, July 7th. Notice is hereby given the City Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, November 17, 2015, in the council chambers, 200 Common Street at 7 p.m. The purpose of said hearing is to gather testimony, information, and public input concerning a proposed amendment to the revised ordinance for the City of Lawrence to be further amended by adding the following section to the municipal code concerning permit parking and designated streets to be inserted in proper order. Lynn Street, the entire length from the intersection of South Union Street to its terminus. To the extent that there exist any ordinances to the contrary, they are hereby repealed in that respect only. Persons wishing to be heard shall be afforded the opportunity as published on November 10th.
Okay, is there anyone in the public that would like to speak in favor or against document 10615? Please identify yourself.
Hello, my name is Henry Misserville. I grew up in the city of Lawrence. My mother, who just passed away at 96, was born in Lawrence. And I'm in favor. I own property on Lynn Street. I own a three-family. Lynn Street is right off of South Union Street. There's a nursing home, the Sunbridge Nursing Home, which takes up most of the parking spaces so that the residents do not have parking. There's actually available on Lynn Street, there are 6 parking spaces available for the residents of this dead-end portion of Lynn Street. And there are 2 buildings. My building has, the tenants have 5 vehicles. There's a 6-family, that's 6 vehicles, that's a total of 11. And across the street, it's a 2-family. There are 3 or 4 vehicles, so that brings it to about 15. There are only 5 to 6 parking spaces available. So I had asked Councilor LaPlante to petition to go to the police department and request that we have resident parking, highly needed. And that's been one of the issues over the years. And also, too, with alternative winter parking, it brings those parking spaces down to a maximum of 3. So the residents have to park either on South Union Street, if they can find parking, or they have to park across South Union Street and negotiate crossing South Union Street from the other side of Lynn Street. It really is a hardship. So I would ask that the City Council approve the resident parking initiative, what is it called, an initiative or a petition or whatever. I request that they do that. I also want to make another comment. Being a longtime resident of Lawrence, I support the Y. I'm there all the time. In fact, I'm joining the board there. I've noticed a lot of wonderful things that are happening. The city common that is utilized by all the students, the beautification, the planting of trees, the gateway to Lawrence, the South Lawrence gateway, I guess that's Marston Street or Canal Street, the beautification that's been done there, and then the Riverwalk Parkway, planting of the trees, widening the walkways, all these things making the city of Lawrence much more attractive, and I'm very pleased. And I hope that some of the money that we've gained from the $100,000 that we got from the recent filming, I'm hoping that that can be used for additional beautification of the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the public? If there is none, I'm going to close public participation on this matter. Councilors, what is your preference?
Make a motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve. It has been properly seconded. Any discussion? If there is none, or in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, document 30615. Oh, you were going to say something? Let it go.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Council President?
30615.
Yeah, that matter, Council President, I do not have that on for public hearing. I have that on currently for a committee report. I did not notice the abutters or anybody was noticed. There is no notice of public hearing drafted as of yet.
Okay, we ordered a public hearing at the last meeting,
We did.
Correct.
but
There is no draft, public hearing drafted. There was no publication made. To the council's pleasure, if the council wishes to proceed without a notice of public hearing, we've done that before.
we have done that before.
Yes,
We need
to your call.
do we need to take a vote on that?
Well, the matter would proceed without a public hearing pending approval at public hearing upon notice presented. If it's an emergency measure, I would suggest an emergency measure would have to be approved first. Take up the matter as an emergency, stating an emergency that it's a matter of public safety, and that if it is an issue of public safety as determined by the council, whether that vote to approve is then approved, and then the public hearing would follow.
Okay. I think that the matter, it relates more to the problem of the cold weather and that it may be too late to dig in if we don't move this forward.
Right.
So I would like to entertain a motion to take this as an emergency matter.
So moved, Madam.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any questions?
For discussion, so what you're trying to do is not have it posted and just have a vote on it this evening?
Yes, we will conduct a public hearing on that.
Is 612 Hampshire Street, is that where, near the one of the community charter schools, is that near there at all? Where is 612?
Near the shadow school? No.
Yeah.
No, no.
Where's 612?
No, this is, if you know where TD Bank is, on Hampshire Street?
Yeah.
Right across from that bank,
It's right at the
directly across.
If you don't mind me asking,
Beginning of
whose
the-
district is that in?
That's District B.
These-
Oh, it's not, it's D?
It's D.
D?
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'm gonna,
I can take it, but it's District D.
Is D?
it's District D, put the new kid on the hot spot, so, I mean, I'm gonna look to your lead on this, through you, Mr.
Yes,
President.
yes, go ahead.
If he wants to have this go tonight, if he feels more comfortable, of course, going through this and not pushing this through so quickly, it's his district, I'll take my cues from him.
Yeah.
Mr. President?
Yes, go ahead.
I have been speaking, and as an at-large person, I would like you to know that I have had talks with different people regarding this, this public hearing, and that's why we push for a public hearing ahead of time. And what we can do is to make sure that we send out a mailing to the abutters after we do the voting tonight.
If I may, Council Vice President, it's more than just a mailing to abutters. It would be an easement that would have to be drafted by the city attorney or drafted by the owner of the property, which I believe is the city of Lawrence in this instance.
The easement is already drafted.
It's not drafted by the city attorney, however, it needs,
one?
yes, that's not drafted by the city attorney. It would have to be
Okay.
drafted, reviewed by the city attorney. A title search would have to be done to make sure there is no other easements against the property. There are other works that need to be done. It's not a notice to abutters.
Yeah, well, I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed because we ordered the public hearing in the last meeting, and all of this then should have been taken care of. Because we did say that the reason why we were ordering the public hearing was because this gentleman didn't have much more time to, and they have a amount, I don't know, because it appears to be on.
It is, yes,
There.
now,
Okay, sorry, just to repeat, I'm disappointed because this was a vote that we took at the last council meeting, and we specifically said that we wanted to push forward the public hearing because this gentleman didn't have too much time. They are working on a project that is of importance to the city. They're gonna start a pharmacy there for his sisters, who are both pharmacists, and he's been working on getting that done. If we delay this anymore, he's gonna have difficulty because of the weather. So that's why we had pushed forward and said, let us call the public hearing,
Right.
right? And we'll still have the discussion at the ordinance committee, which is what we did.
Exactly.
Which is what we did. And we therefore thought that we would be ready tonight to have this public hearing. So that's why I think that I've made the motion to treat it as an emergency, again, because he doesn't have much more time. And there's been a lot of money already invested in this project.
Question, Mr. Clerk. Are we able to approve this pending the drafting by the city attorney?
My thought simply is that there is no easement drafted by the city attorney. Without that easement, it does not get recorded.
Okay.
I can't answer that question because the city attorney needs to answer that question as to when he can draft the easement.
Okay, so my question again is, can the city council approve this document pending the drafting of the easement by the city
Yes,
attorney?
I think the answer to that is simple. The answer is yes. To what that, I would also suggest that the council also simultaneously carry forward the order for public hearing, as we have done with other emergency measures like, if you remember, the regulation on fingerprinting.
Okay.
That it was allowed first and the public hearing followed.
Right.
It's not the usual course of business. It is done in certain emergency situations. And I leave certainly that to the council.
Okay.
So then we would be able to, just to make sure that I'm clear on what's being said, we can move ahead and
Yes.
agree to the
We can move ahead
Approve
pending a public hearing
pending a public hearing.
and the drafting of the document by the city attorney.
Okay, and we therefore would be guaranteed that all the abutters will get their letters, and
Right.
after you get the easement.
I
and the-
would guarantee that the abutters will get notice, but it would be noticed by public hearing by publication.
By publication.
And I would suggest certainly the city attorney would then, if the order would include that he draft and record the easement, certainly that would probably expedite things.
Okay, and could we order a special meeting to then have this public hearing? Because it doesn't have to wait 2 weeks. It's just, we mostly allow it to wait 2 weeks because we go from one council meeting to the next.
That would be up to the council, to the full council. So let's take the measure first as an emergency,
Right.
Okay,
and then we can get into other details.
all right.
Is there somebody else?
I just,
Again, what we are discussing is simply to take this matter as an emergency.
An emergency.
That's the vote.
and then the second vote, if it's approved, then it's to order the public hearing? Or
Yes.
then it's to
Yes.
approve it?
To approve the document pending two things:
The draft,
the drafting of the easement
right?
by the city attorney and the
Another
public
public
hearing,
Hearing.
okay? Yeah, hold on.
No, I want to hear from my colleague from District
Oh,
Eight.
okay, then, go ahead.
It's gonna be, the public hearing is gonna be pending, but is that gonna change anybody's mentality because we're gonna take a vote tonight?
Well, we can always reverse a decision of the council by a supermajority if we feel that at the public hearing there is too much opposition, or we feel that there is something wrong with the process. Okay, so we can always, by a supermajority, change the actions of this council,
By supermajority, okay.
okay?
Just so I'm
yes,
clear,
go ahead.
the challenge that I think we're facing here, and again, we're doing it backwards again, which is we're ordering a public hearing after we already approved of it, and then we're gonna be sending out letters to people saying there's a public hearing on something we just approved. What happens if these people, for whatever chance, say, we don't want that to happen,
Well,
Yeah.
and we just approved it? That puts us in a kind of a bizarre bind, doesn't it? And I don't understand, I mean, I know it's an emergency, and I know we should have been dealing with this tonight and through, I'm not gonna look for blame, but we should have had this tonight, and there's probably good reasons why it wasn't. I'll leave it there, right? But if do we need to have this done tonight? We can't wait 2 more weeks and go to the public hearing and make this
No,
thing happen?
no.
And why can't we wait 2 weeks?
Because of the weather.
it's already.
Thank
Hold on,
No.
please, do not speak out of line, so
through-
please,
through
continue.
you, I'm not
He
sure
had
who,
the floor.
I'm not sure.
Hold on, no, he said he concluded his,
No, he's trying to say something. weren't you?
Hold on.
You were trying to, Steve.
I am recognizing Mr. LaPlante, so let's continue with that.
So
and then-
my question is very simply, who claims that's an emergency? What's the emergency? Why can't it wait 2 more weeks? And that way, we don't even have this issue anymore. I guess my question, does anybody have
Okay.
an answer to that question?
First of all, we explained that the emergency is the weather, a problem with the weather, and that it's going to delay, and it will cost money to delay the project. The second thing I mentioned, that even though we are making a decision tonight, by two-thirds majority, if we find that there is a great amount of opposition on the part of the residents, that we can reconsider this by a two-thirds majority to back down and stop this project. Okay? Are there any other, Mr. Rodriguez, do you have
Yes,
something else?
I wanna ask a couple of questions about the project.
That's why we have Bay State Gas here. This gentleman from the Bay State can answer any questions that you may have. Can you please identify yourself?
Hi, I'm Vin Luciano, Columbia Gas Construction Specialist here in
Okay.
Lawrence.
Mr. Rodriguez?
And you work for
Columbia Gas.
Columbia Gas, okay. So are you having a crossing, going from one point to another across the street?
What the request is we need, the property owner is looking for a gas service, and then the only place that we could put it is in the rear of the building, the rear of 6-12 Hampshire Street.
Mm-hmm.
We would bring the gas line off of Methuen Street into that parking lot, which is owned by the city. Therefore, we need an easement.
And my question is to you, in terms of weather, we are already late because it's passing November 15, and that's
Correct.
the state treasurer on terms of time. How that's gonna affect the project is if we are already late in terms of payment and in terms of other requirements that you're gonna have?
Well, right now, the asphalt plants are still making what's called a summer mix.
Yeah, because
which
it's-
is what's on the ground right now. When the weather starts getting colder, they go to a winter mix.
Yeah, and the weather gotta be below 35 degrees.
Correct.
And we're not expecting that for the next 2 weeks, I'm assuming.
Hopefully not.
I think that we should wait for the public hearing for this project and listen to the people around the area and do the proper thing, and then take the vote. If we gonna wait for the public hearing and we're going to, and we might change the vote, why not to take the vote at that moment? Because we are having the vote pending some documents and some information. So I think that we should wait. I don't think the weather is gonna be, we are already late. I don't think the weather is gonna go down below 35 degrees, which is basically the threshold temperature for the payment, which is the concern.
Well, that and also the ground freezing.
Ground freezing,
when
yeah, it
it's,
gotta be
you know,
below
when it
32,
starts- when it
it's the
starts
same thing.
freezing, gets
And
a
the
little
ground
more
freezing
difficult.
gotta be below 3 feet, and that's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Those are assumptions that I'm making, but I truly believe that we should do this properly, and we should wait for the public hearing.
Are you finished?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else?
Are we taking this up as an emergency?
I'm sorry, yes, we are. There's a motion on the floor, and it has been properly seconded to take this matter as an emergency. Unless there's any more discussion, we're going to take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? No. Okay, roll call, please.
Council Vasquez,
This is to take it as an emergency
As an
first.
emergency
Okay,
measure.
not the approval.
Not the approval.
not the approval, the emergency measure portion
Yes.
only. Yes? Council LaPlante?
No.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
Council Reyes?
Yes.
Council Almonte?
Yes.
Council Rodriguez?
No.
Council Abdu?
No.
Council Vice President?
Yes.
And Council President?
Yes.
6 favor, 3 against, it passes.
Okay, we are now considering this matter as an emergency, and now we're going to enter, let me ask for a motion to approve. Is there a motion to approve?
Well, first,
I'm sorry?
we wanted to hear more, I guess, well, We'll
sorry?
put the motion on the floor, and then we'll hear from both parties there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The motion is to approve, and then we're going to go into discussion.
Right.
Is there a motion on the floor to approve?
Second.
Who made the motion?
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Second.
It has been properly second. Discussion. Would you people like to hear from the gentleman from Bay State Gas?
Yes, and also, I would like them to hear from the petitioner himself.
Yes.
What's his name is?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's here.
Will you come forward, please?
I think it's important that they hear from him.
Let me give
Tejeda,
Mr.
Mr.
Pedro
Tejeda.
Tejada the opportunity
Tejada,
to
yeah.
talk first, and then, councilors, if you have any questions for Mr. Tejada or the gentleman from Bay State Gas, please feel free to do so. Mr. Tejada, please.
I have a question.
Oh, you have a question? Go ahead.
Mr. Tejada, how will this affect you and the process of this project if we delayed for 2 weeks? Is that something that you can afford, or is something that you prefer us just to treat it as an emergency? Can you give us like why is the need to treat it as an emergency?
First of all, thank you, City Council, for giving me the opportunity to speak here publicly. I think the question at hand is the nature of what's happening and the need for expediency. The concern is not the unpredictability of the weather, but the factors that we can control, which is the ability to get this project off the ground. We're in New England. For all we know, it could snow tomorrow. I think that the fact that we're in this for the last 6 months, it's been a building that's been abandoned for about 8 years. It's a family-owned property. It's an opportunity to create an environment out of that specific part of the city that is ripe for not only employing people from the city, doctors that are being involved in this, IT professionals. It's a huge project, and there's a lot of organizations involved. I can't really get into the specifics of it because, unfortunately, I've been forced to sign a confidentiality agreement, but let's just say that it's something that the city is going to be very proud of and can hold its head up high. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Mr. Vasquez.
Through you, Mr. President. It is important to definitely follow the process and ensure that we do things right. But I do recall that in our last meeting, we did request to have a public hearing
Right.
tonight. And because of that, I think that it is a fault of the city council. We should take responsibility for the mistakes that have been made.
Right.
And the process should not be delayed because on this side of the table, there was a mistake made.
Right.
I'm a big fan of following things by the book, ensuring that we do it right from the get-go, but I also understand that we asked this gentleman to come today because
Right.
we did make a request to order the public hearing. The public hearing unfortunately did not happen, it's not happening. There's two things that come to my attention. The first one is what Council Vice President Alvaro Rodriguez brought up, is the fact that could we have a special meeting for this? And if so, Mr. Clerk, what will be the date for a possible public hearing as soon as possible?
Need
The
48
paper would
hours.
require 3 days' notice from today, would put it on the 20th. To get an advanced public hearing, would place the public hearing on the 27th, the day after Thanksgiving. Assuming, and I doubt it's possible, if I have the paper published on the 19th, then that puts the public hearing the earliest on Thanksgiving,
That's the earliest?
the earliest.
The earliest, what would that be? The
Could you repeat
27th?
that, please?
26th,
The 26th. The earliest, the day before Thanksgiving.
on Thanksgiving,
On
or the
Thanksgiving.
day
Oh.
after.
Yeah, no, they would, how about the 30th?
Our next
Monday the
meeting is on the
30th.
1st, so it's gonna be a one-day
30th
difference.
is right next to the new council meeting, so.
Our next city council meeting is on the
Right.
1st.
Well, that's right, yeah. Yeah, we can conduct the public hearing on the 1st, really.
Right.
There's no, there's no problem with that.
Right, I thought that we could probably get one sooner. And from what the city clerk describes, there's got to be 3 days' notice to the,
Even if I get the paper to publish tomorrow, which is not gonna happen, it'll be Wednesday, before Thanksgiving, would be the public hearing. I'm not gonna get to the paper tomorrow. I might be able to get them Thursday. That'll put it on Thursday. They're already in print for tomorrow,
so the soonest that they would be able to go to print would be Thursday.
Thanksgiving would be the public hearing date, based upon that, yes.
Not the day before Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving.
7 days, the charter requires 7 days.
Right, so, I guess that's not an option. Because why bother to do the meeting the day before,
Our
or
regular
the
meeting.
day
Yeah,
after
let-
Thanksgiving,
we
when
can-
the
We can do it on the
council
1st.
meeting is taking place?
Let's schedule the
Excuse me.
public hearing for the 1st.
Yes.
If I may, just let you know, due to our backlog, if you approve this come like around Thanksgiving, this gentleman's not gonna get gas until January, sometime in January. Just consideration. It's,
Say that
it's,
again?
it's due to our backlog that
Right.
we have going. By the time the process gets going, after approval, it's not like we could just drop everything and go over there and put a service in. We have customers that are waiting in a
Right.
backlog.
So,
So the sooner we can get him into the system, the sooner he'll get gas.
yeah, so taking into consideration the information that has been provided by the city clerk, I think I stand in the position of voting in favor of it tonight, for the fact that it was on our end that the mistake was made. The gentleman that is before us submitted the documentation on time when it was supposed to happen. And I wouldn't want to see a business that is starting in the city not be successful because of an internal process that we weren't able to fulfill. So,
Because it was a mistake on this side.
Right.
thank you, Mr. Clerk. Thank you.
So we ready to take a vote?
Mr. President?
Yes.
We were discussing that we want to go ahead with what we did in the past, which to approve
Approve.
and pending, as you described before, pending
Pending the public
the
hearing.
public hearing.
Yes.
Which would be in 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
And by that time, given the backlog that they have, it may not even have been worked on, so it still gives the residents plenty of opportunity to speak up.
Okay.
And how long, just another question, Mr. Tejada, how long have you lived in that area?
We have been working on the logistics of rehabbing the structure for the last year. That is independent of the processes involved with the doctors. They're on their own time frame, and they've been
Right.
involved for about the last 8 months.
Okay.
That's independent of the
And
pharmacy
have-
board and
In
Board
the
of Health.
process that you've been working on renovating this property, on making the block look better, because that was a disaster before you guys got your hands on it, right? How are your neighbors responding to that?
It's been a very good response, especially from the church next door. The fact that the place is no longer a health issue.
Inhabitable, right.
There's no vagrants hanging around, and
It's not a public nuisance
yeah.
anymore.
So I have a very good relationship with the church. It's really an industrial area, so I don't really have an opportunity to speak with a lot of the resident, the people that are there. What I just simply try to do is keep going with the project. But the church, with the fact that they hand out food on Saturdays, and there's a lot of activity there during the weekends, I have an opportunity to interact with them frequently. So they're very happy that something positive is going in there, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, is there any other questions, any other comments?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you, well, it's to the gentleman here.
Columbia Gas.
Can you explain,
Will you come to the microphone, please? Move over to the microphone.
can you explain if we approve this pending public hearing, like when is gonna be the time that you actually jump in and do the work?
If you were to approve this tonight, we're looking at
It's gonna
probably,
be with pending public hearing, so that means that you won't be able to start till the public hearing go through.
till after the public hearing?
That's what I'm
Is that
assuming,
what you're
right?
saying?
Am I correct? Yeah?
No,
No.
no. If we approve it, they can go ahead and start working.
I think the question that you
hearing.
want to know is when will they be able to schedule? Am I correct?
No, I mean, because the question is, like, what about if we go back? They won't be able to just
They,
take the construction back.
they can,
They
The
want.
issue is
If
that
we
if you
approve.
get me into the system now, my backlog goes from happening in January and effectively starting to be able to finish that infrastructural concern to being probably back down to April, which is 4 months. That's 4 months of inactivity that I can't really quantify. That's the main issue here, the timeframe.
Right.
I know procedurally there are issues that need to be followed through here. I can't control them. I'm just simply explaining to you what the dynamics are.
Okay, can you explain how the project is gonna happen and what are you guys gonna do exactly for the,
All right,
for the
what
record?
we would exactly do is excavate a hole on Methuen Street and put about an 18-inch wide trench onto the parking lot from the gas main to the location in back of the building where the service will go. And then, once that service is in, we backfill it, compact it, and hot top it. It should take a day to do that,
Yeah, it will take a day.
no more.
And in terms of the easement, that's something that can bring some type of issue with the city, I guess, if we don't have that easement approved.
Correct. If there's no easement, we can't trespass on your property.
Yeah, so basically, you're gonna have to wait for the easement to happen before you even start.
Correct.
And we say that the easement gonna take, when it's gonna take?
I can't speak for the city attorney's office. I don't know.
So anyway, you won't be able to start this week, you won't be able to start next week. It's
Well,
gonna
if
be
council,
pending.
it's my understanding, if council gives approval tonight, I mean, we're not gonna go out there and excavate tomorrow.
No.
I mean, we have to wait until that easement is approved, stamped, and signed off by everybody. But we can get this gentleman's paperwork into the system
Right.
and get it going. And if it comes around and the easement isn't ready yet, we'll put it on hold. Once we get the okay from you, we pull it right back out, and he's next in line.
All right, and when is gonna be the closest day that you guys are gonna start excavating and start the project? In case that everything is approved, everything goes well, the easement take, let's say, 2-3 days.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Assuming that the easement take a short period of time,
Yep.
let's say 2 days, for example,
If it takes 2 days,
when is gonna be?
he's still in, probably looking at 2.5 weeks
2.5 weeks.
to get a service in.
All right, and we're gonna have public hearings in 2 weeks? Okay.
That's the soonest.
That's the
That's the
soonest, yeah.
soonest, right.
So 2 weeks to start the construction, and 2.5 weeks to start the construction, and 2 weeks for the public hearing.
So in essence, the construction will not start until after the public hearing?
Correct.
Right, but at least you'll get his name in.
No problem.
Okay.
No further questions.
Ms. LaPlante?
All right.
So, under that time frame, so on December 1st, when the public hearing is done, are we then gonna have another vote at that particular point, or we're just holding a public hearing?
We are going to order the public hearing, and if there is any major objection, we can take a reconsideration of the decision.
Okay, so that, I think that would work. 'Cause I think what the counselor may be concerned about is other neighbors or other folks in that area and not having a chance to hear what they have to say. I don't think anybody wants to compound it. There's already been a mistake made, and if we decide we're gonna go forward with this and people object to it, we've just compounded that mistake. I don't think anybody wants that.
Well, let me, if you were familiar with the area, you would understand that there is actually, there is a bank, there is a big factory building in front. There is another factory building across diagonally. So I doubted that there is going to be any neighbors. We're not affecting any residential area. This is all commercial.
Right.
Commercial citizens, commercial
Exactly,
residents.
exactly.
Right. And then
So
the church-
I doubted that there's going to be any objection on the part of any of the owners of those factory buildings.
Right, and if I may, Mr.
Yes, go ahead.
President, and we already know that the church is working with him and are actually happy that piece of property that was a public nuisance is no longer a public nuisance because it's being worked on. You know, so I think it's great that we're reviving, the area, and so that we can also give him the opportunity to get in and be on that list, so that he won't be so far behind.
The concern,
Okay.
the genuine concern is that if this doesn't get in, there's going to be a lapse of about 4 months, which would mean that that's 4 months that these tenants can't get in. That's 4 months that we lose operating revenue. That's 4 months that we add on to an already process that's been a year and a half in the making.
Okay. Are there any other questions, councilors?
No.
Remember that the motion is to approve the project pending two items:
Right.
a public hearing and the drafting of the easement. Okay, so that's what you are voting for.
Right,
And again, let me remind you that the project probably is not going to take place until after the public hearing. Okay, so let's take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Great,
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, councilors.
sure that Attorney Buddy knows we want him to work on this.
Okay, let's continue with committee reports, and the first
Is he here?
two items in the agenda are from the Budget and Finance Committee. Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Document 29315 is the fiscal year 2016 tax classification hearing, and it came from the subcommittee with no recommendation, and I would like to present it as a committee report, and I make that in form of a motion.
Second,
There's a motion on the floor to accept document 29315 as a committee report. It has been properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion to order a public hearing for document 29315.
There's a motion on the floor to order a public hearing for document 29315. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion
discussion.
has been properly second. Discussion?
Discussion.
Yes, I was hoping that Alexis Vega could
Oh,
come
Mr.
up.
Vega?
Yeah, and give a little information, the city assessor, if he can give a little information, just to make certain that when the public hearing comes around, that the public is just as well-versed as we are in terms of what's going on. You did a lovely presentation, but I know that not all counselors were available at the time. So if you can run it by us real quick through the council president.
Yeah, so Alexi Vega, Chief Assessor, 14 Cornish Road, Lawrence. The presentation that was done a couple weeks ago, it's going to happen again during the public hearing. All the information, the presentation is actually available online. It's basically to determine the tax burden that the commercial, industrial, and personal property are going to be paying, rather than having a single tax rate. So you're just simply going to adopt a factor on that evening. It's not to, determine what the tax rate is going to be. That's actually determined by the Commissioner of the Department of Revenue. You're just giving me a guide to present the Commissioner of the Department of Revenue. So the levy has been determined, the amount of money to be raised through taxation, the assessed values, which the levy is the numerator, The assessed value has been determined by the Commissioner of the Department of Revenue, about $3.1 billion. You divide the two, you get a single tax rate. That tax rate is about $19.50. What we're opting to do, and what we've done for many, many years, going back to, I believe when we had the classification hearing in 1978, is to shift the burden. The residential taxpayers' valuation is 80%, and the commercial, industrial, and personal property in the city is 20%. So it's a really small tax base.
Okay. Now, when you presented the PowerPoint, you also mentioned something about new growth.
Yeah.
Now, we know that when we set the tax rate, it would either get the industrial/commerce paying more into it, or it would have residential paying more into it, into the tax that we said we would levy.
Yes, so the new.
So does that include the growth as well, or is it or?
That is
When
included.
you ask about tax levy, would you include the growth?
Absolutely.
With
We're
the tax
including
levy?
both the Proposition 2.5 and new growth. New growth, again, was approved the second Monday of November at $1.6 million. So that's attributable to actually, I'll give you the tax dollar amount. $408,000 would be the residential taxpayers will pay the 1.6 of that share. The rest would be commercial, industrial, and personal property. And that's, new growth is basically new construction, all the permits that were taken out by the homeowners, businesses.
Right.
They're gonna pay on that new addition, whether it be a new garage, new swimming pool, they're gonna pay that fair share. You and I, if we didn't take out any permit, that new growth does not fall into our tax bill.
Now, in the situations where people have taken out permits, and there would be, you have said that there's additional growth, but they have not continued on to complete their project. Do we still consider it new growth, or are you advised that no new construction was completed on that?
So when we determined the Valley real estate for fiscal year 2016, we used all of calendar year 2014 activity. So meaning whatever was standing there 1/1/2015. So we are technically a year behind. So we're now, if you took out a permit yesterday, obviously we can't pick you up till fiscal year 17. So
Right.
most of the permits or all the permits that were taken out, our data collectors went out in the field with the property record card and updated the, investigated what activity had taken place. You took out a permit for a new house, but your finances fell through the roof, just didn't go through. We were out in the field, there's nothing there, we move on. We just noted in the field card, a permit was taken, but we'll be back.
Right.
But the day we visited, so there's actually no new growth there, but if 20% was complete, we're gonna make sure we put that on the property record card to identify that.
Right. Now, I know that we're ordering a public hearing, but I have said time after time that to do the presentations the same day of the public hearing is difficult because we're not giving the public enough time to be able to consider these things. And I was at the Budget and Finance meeting, but because of the open meeting law, I was not allowed to ask any questions at that time, which is why I'm asking the questions now that I think is information that the public needs before they can participate in the public hearing. And that has been able to define what happens with new growth, which I believe, we always say, even though there hasn't been an increase in taxes, people will see an increase due to new growth, right? And so it would be the increase plus the new growth.
Proposition 2.5 plus new growth. So
Right.
it's 1.4 plus the 1.6, correct?
Right.
That would be
So
added to
that's-
the levy in order to be shared amongst
And
the-
that's what the new levy is.
15,000 pieces of property that we have in the city.
15,000, and just people need to know that. And whether, based on that, should we be looking at a tax rate that would request that industry/commerce contribute more, or if it should be the residents that contribute more? So people will be able to talk to us about that
Absolutely.
at the next public hearing.
Yeah, and yeah, it was your recommendation, and we've done it in the past. Wait till after the Budget and Finance Subcommittee in case the councilors have additional information you want me to put on the presentation, or if there's something that you want to remove from it, and then we post it in the city's website. So since that meeting and posting it on the website, we've been inundated with phone calls, just folks walking in.
So people have been calling.
They've been coming in and calling, and for the most part,
Great.
everybody's been satisfied. At the end of the day, it's the valuation of your property. We didn't increase single-family homes drastically. I mean, it went up $2,300 across the board. However, some areas did go up higher than others. Again, commercial, we didn't raise their valuation at all because we went through a reval last year. So the increase in taxes that taxpayers are gonna see are very minimal compared to other communities. So, I look forward to giving the presentation again, but the phone calls haven't, stopped. Whether
That's good. I'm glad that you've been getting calls. It's important that the public know what's going on. Yeah. So, Mr. President, thank you.
Okay.
As you know, we were at that
Any
meeting.
other questions for Mr. Vega?
We couldn't
Remember,
ask
let me remind everyone that we're going to have an audio-visual presentation by Mr. Vega at the public hearing, and it doesn't make sense that we should talk a great deal tonight rather than wait and ask a lot of questions at that time, okay? So,
Mr. President, I think what makes sense is a matter of opinion, because to me it makes sense to ask the questions, because when people come on the day of the public hearing, you're getting all this information and not the opportunity to digest it and be able to think of the questions you may have. And at that night, we're gonna make the decision. So I'm just saying that when it says what is common sense, it's based on the opinion.
no, I respect your opinion too, but remember that we are not going to provide enough information tonight anyway so that people can absorb and be ready to ask questions. Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. Do you have the presentation with you?
I do.
Okay, can you go to page 14?
Do we have it here?
Okay.
What's the current factor that we have here right now in the city?
1.71.
Okay. That means that, according to this, I just want to make sure you fix this before you publish it, if it is any mistake. Under the common taxes increase, in the 171, there is 29 there, or 293. What's the number?
Page 14.
Across the line on 171.
You have I don't know where you got that one, but that's correct. We have the correct one online, and
Or it's gonna be correct online?
it's been taken care of during the presentation and online.
So the number is not 29,
It's 293.
293, okay.
Correct.
And can you provide me with a quick overview of the meaning of 1.69 and 1.75?
Sure, the
That way
160,
people, hold on, and that way people that is watching this today gonna have a good idea of what those numbers means, and then they can come over, prepare, and a quick explanation.
absolutely.
Wow.
Good question. So the maximum you can shift the tax burden to the commercial, industrial, and personal property is 1.75.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the maximum. That's the best benefit for the residential taxpayers in the city of Lawrence. The lower you start going to, say, 169, that's the best benefit that you can actually provide. We've never gone that low, but that's the best benefit you can provide to the commercial, industrial, and personal property. So again, a factor less than 175, you're shifting that tax burden to the residential taxpayers. So their tax rate will actually increase, meaning their tax bill will increase.
Yes.
And the opposite will happen to the commercial, industrial, and personal property.
Okay. Okay, no further questions?
No other questions? Is there anybody else? Mr. Plant?
Just a question regarding process. So, we're ordering the public hearing tonight, we're gonna vote on that. Do we have to set that factor this evening, so that's part of it, or?
No, we're going to be setting the factor
we
at
leave it
the
blank.
public hearing.
Leave it blank, okay.
Yes. Are there any other questions? If there is none, let's take a vote, and again, we are voting in order to order a public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The ayes have it. Thank you. Continue, Mr. Chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee, with document 30215.
Thank you, Mr. President. Document 30215 is the authorization to spend donations up to a maximum of $2,000. And this is an amendment that was submitted by the Community Development Department, required to submit an end of fiscal year accounting of all minor contributions for public notice. He came from the subcommittee with a favorable recommendation, and I would like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made to approve document 30215. It has been properly second. Any discussion? If there is none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose? The ayes have it. Okay, we will continue with the Personnel Committee, document 30515 and 29915. Madam Chair of the Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Council President. Document 30515 is to post the water and sewer supervisor position. That came up with a favorable recommendation unanimously, and I make that in form of a motion.
Second.
Motion has been made to approve the posting of the water and sewer supervisor position. It has been properly second. Any discussion?
Brian Peña is here if anybody had any questions for him regarding this posting of this position. We discussed in length of what the salary was gonna be and what the position was gonna be and why it happened that way and why not another position, and what the licenses were and what we needed to do at that point. So, after discussing that and what the vacant position was being paid and what currently will pay after this is done, it came up with a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Okay. Are there any questions for Mr. Peña?
Yes.
Councilor Alvarez.
Council President, through you, I'd like to affirm that in the last council meeting, we talked a little bit about why you needed a second supervisor, although this has gone unfilled. That position has gone unfilled all these years. And why you did not select someone that was already in your, under your supervision, who was doing the job, and why were you unable to select from within? And you answered those questions. So can you just quickly, to make certain that everyone at home knows what we're talking about and what we're looking to approve tonight, can you just quickly talk about that?
Sure. Good evening. So to answer the question as to why we need to post the position that has been vacant for so long, the main driver is managing the consent decree that we received for the new counselors. In 2014, on my third day on the job, we received a letter from the Department of Justice stating that they were suing the City of Lawrence for violations of the Clean Water Act. Over the course of the next 11 months, we negotiated a settlement which included drafting a consent decree in which the city was going to make strides to correcting the issues that existed, identifying and correcting the issues. So the main reason why we are looking to post the position is to bring in someone with the qualifications, with the know-how to manage or help manage this program, because it is very time-consuming and very knowledge and resource-intensive. So that's the main driver. We're looking to bring someone new.
So in short, what is happening here is we're trying to bring our water department, sewer department, the whole bit, we're trying to bring it up to par with the demands that were made to us in this consent decree.
Correct, into compliance. That is the, so that is the reason why the supervisor position. Now, there's another reason, and that is that the Mass Code of Regulations requires that every water and sewer department have at least 2 licensed operators on staff. We currently have 1, and in order to resume or to get back into compliance, we need to hire someone with those qualifications as well, which is why when the job posting was drafted, the qualifications are a requirement.
Right, and your reasoning for non-hiring from within was that there are no other people presently who have the qualifications to be able to do that job. On the one hand, you did have one person, however, he resigned and he moved on, hopefully to bigger and better things. And he did not have the license. Is that what I understood?
The person who resigned did have the license.
Did have the license.
Correct, but he is no longer employed, so I cannot hire him.
Right, so you cannot hire him. And you are saying also that people should be licensed and also have the ability to supervise, which
Correct.
is another game altogether, right?
Yes.
So thank you very much for explaining it again. Thank you, Council President.
Okay. Councilors, is there anybody else? If there is none, let's take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Abstain.
Roll call, please.
Council Vice President.
Yes.
Council Abdu.
Yes. Are they related to you?
Council Giovanni Rodriguez.
Yes.
Council Almonte.
Yes.
Council Reyes.
Yes.
Council Toomey.
Oh, yes.
Council LaPlante. Abstain. Noted. And Council Vasquez.
Yes.
And Council President.
Yes. Okay, let's move on with document 30515. Madam Chair, I'm sorry, 29915.
That's ordinance.
Yes,
Chair,
yes. This
what
corner.
is it?
Document 299-15 is a disclosure by municipal employer Frankie Martinez, captain of Lawrence Fire Department, came out with a favor recommendation from the Ordinance Committee, and I make it as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion has been made to approve the disclosure, and it has been properly seconded. Are there any questions?
What is the disclosure? If
The disclosure is that the gentleman works for the city, but he also cleans snow
Right.
in the winter. He has been doing this for a few years now, and every year we have approved this disclosure.
He's been doing what?
He works for the fire department, and he cleans snow, plow.
Right.
Let me clarify that. Plow snow in the winter.
Okay.
Okay? Are there any questions?
No.
If there is none, let's take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Madam Chair of the Ordinance Committee, why don't you continue with the rest of the documents?
Document 300-15, that's a town livery, 354 Merrimack Street, that has been put on the agenda by Kirby Valdez. And I just have to say before I proceed with my motion, that Officer Flores has called me today and to let you know that he approved and this is good to go. And I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second to approve document 315. Are there any questions or discussion? If there is none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Continue, Madam Chair.
Document 301-15 is a taxi license quality care on wheels. That is at 75 Water Street. That has been put in the agenda by Nelson Roja. That is also another document that Officer Flores has approved and is good to go, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion has been made to approve document 30115. It has been properly second. Any discussion? If there is none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Continue, Madam Chair.
Okay, document 303-15 is St. Patrick's Day's Parade, on March 19. and that is going to be from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that has been put in the agenda by Thomas Cody, coordinator, and come out with a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second, discussion?
Motion has been
Yes.
made and properly second. I know we asked somebody
Yes,
from...
and I'm also want to
Would you like
clarify.
to come forward, please?
Right, that was going to be my request.
Okay, and I also want to clarify that Officer Scotty has emailed me the next day of the meeting.
Right.
So I was telling him that when we said that we don't want to send any document up to the full council was, we were referring National Grid. And the only reason we make
The
him
utilities.
come, obviously, for anyone who has a question, but was most likely because Councilor Vice President want to hear you singing. So was nothing,
I have a cold tonight, so you don't want to hear me
it's
sing.
nothing about you. We were referring, like, sometime they put something in the agenda, they don't appear on the ordinance committee, so we have a whole bunch of questions. So they didn't show up at the next meeting, then we're gonna stop to approve or send them.
No, I, like I said, I apologize for that. That was a oversight on my behalf, so.
Okay.
I would never
So-
mean any disrespect to any member of the committee or to the council.
So we were hoping you could give a little commercial, a little spiel about St. Patrick's Day.
Well, the parade,
So people at home can know.
I should probably, my name is Thomas Cuddy, 68 South Bowden Street, Lawrence, Massachusetts. I want the clerk to take the notes properly. Parade is, if you approve it, so approved tonight, will be March 19th. It's been 2 years now that we've done it. It's come back for 2 years. We kind of got the ball rolling already. We're in the process of raising funds right now, getting bands and participants. We're very hopeful that the school department will be a big participant again this year. It's great to see the kids out there. So that being said, it's the same route as before. The logistically, like I said, we have it done pretty well. The only obstacle we had last year was Mother Nature. As you all know, we had to postpone, and we hope we don't have to do that this year. Even with postponing last year, as you all know, we had to contend with very, very large snowbanks. And of course, the day of the parade, it covered every weather element known to man. So it was quite an obstacle that day, to say the least. I think even the post office shut down that day. So, and of course, the next day was beautiful. So with that, any questions you might have for me, I would be happy to
When do
answer
you
them.
have your fundraising luncheon?
The fundraiser is January 29th. The committee will kill me. January 29th at the Relief Center.
At the Relief.
And hopefully we have a nice night that night as well.
Are there any questions?
No, just make sure we get tickets.
Councilor Reyes was hoping that you would sing Danny Boy tonight.
Yeah.
Not tonight. I have a, if you call my cell phone, it's the ringtone, so you'll be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take a vote on this, on document 30315. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The ayes have it. Madam Chair, continue with document 30415.
Okay, document 304-15 is a transit vendor license has been put in the agenda by Isidro Sanchez, and it came out with no recommendation pending one document that he submitted right to the next day, which I have it here, if one of you has a copy. It was incomplete. It was this document. No, he doesn't own any property.
You didn't say so.
No. He doesn't.
So, no, but that's why, it's complete here.
Oh.
That I'm saying.
He had to change
That I
the
have the
address.
copy. That document was incomplete. He submitted the next day, which I can make a copy for you, but, he doesn't own any property. So I make that, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second to approve document 30415.
Okay, I see.
Are there any questions? Mr. Toomey.
There's just another item here on his Commonwealth of Massachusetts for the City of Lawrence. It says certificate expires. He signed this, this thing was received October 28th, 2015 by the city clerk. But it says certificate expires on October 28, 2015. I think that should be corrected. Should be 2019,
Which
I would
one is that?
assume, right?
So
Is that the one you gave us?
the license.
Down at the bottom.
The business certificate?
What's the day that he get it?
October 28, 2015.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
That was the day he get it.
That should run 4 years to 2019.
Yeah.
So
What's
this is
that?
effective. It'll be corrected.
Okay.
It will be correct,
Okay, has to be corrected.
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, make sure you get a copy of that when it's corrected.
Yeah, I can give it this one to him whenever.
Okay, any further discussion?
That's the document. I'm
Yes,
gonna
I
make
have
a
a
copy.
Mr. Toomey, do you have any further questions?
Oh, that was it.
Does anybody else have any further questions?
Yes, I do.
If there is no question, let's...
Yeah, I
ta-
do have a
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do they have any specific location for this place?
This is gonna be a transfer vendor license.
So
and,
but
move-
usually they park in a specific place and.
Well, he did say, let me just translate to him because he doesn't speak
Yeah,
English.
maybe
¿Dónde que usted se va a
2.5
parquear
hours.
cuando usted tenga el,
En la esquina de la Lorencon Park.
¿De dónde?
Lorencon Park.
Oh, en la Loren Park, okay.
So he also is aware that he needs to move every 2 hours if he doesn't have line. If he does, then he wait, but then he have to park in the other time.
¿Entendió eso?
Yes, we explained, we translated to him in ordinance committee.
And he said he understood that he has to move it every 2 hours.
Mr. President,
No, wait,
point of
wait.
information.
Point of information, go ahead.
If the applicant needs translation, we will request it from someone in the audience because we
Yes.
cannot
Right.
translate.
And we did that the last,
We
at the
did that,
subcommittee
we
level.
did that.
Yeah,
So it was just
Mr.
answered to.
Tejeda translated for him.
Actually, we have Mr.
Tejada.
Tejeda to translate it. Roger, do you have another question?
It was my understanding, and I believe I asked you this question, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, that because Charles Barty made a comment to the council that we should not translate.
That is correct.
Is that correct?
That is
Yes.
correct, yes.
And that's exactly what we did when we had him present at the ordinance committee.
Okay, so.
I jump in today, and I'm sorry, but, yes, we used someone from the area to translate it for him.
Okay, should
Someone in
that
the
have been done
audience,
today, too? In other words, someone from the audience should have been up there
We could ask,
instead of you, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
we could ask if there is someone in the audience, if there are other
I know.
people who want to ask
But
questions.
are we gonna have more question for him, that he needs someone?
If there's any questions,
If he's
then
any
I would
question,
like
we
to ask
can ask
somebody.
someone to come and translate it for him, but if he's not,
Yeah.
then why is the need to ask someone to come over?
Yeah, maybe we could bother Ms. Marmolejo.
Well, let's find out whether there's going to be any more
Is
questions.
gonna be any more
Is
question?
does anybody have any questions for the applicants? There
Then-
is none.
More questions?
I have more questions, but I mean, I'm fine with my vote.
Okay.
I'm fine. I answer my questions.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Okay, let's take a vote then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Okay, we concluded with the committee report. Councilors, document 5 comes us with a motion to withdraw, but I was informed by the city attorney that the motion to withdraw doesn't carry any weight because this document has already been approved by default. Okay, so we're not going to take a motion to withdraw this document. Councilors, are there any
So
matters?
it's already withdrawn, is that what we're
No,
saying?
no, it's not withdrawn, it's just that the document was already approved by default.
So it'll disappear from our agenda?
Yes, yes. Councilors, are there any documents that would you like to take out of all business? If there is none,
There's a whole bunch.
any documents from table matters? I'm sorry.
They're looking at table matters, there's a whole bunch of things here that,
Going once? Going twice?
just one question,
I'm sorry?
question.
Yes.
Councilor Toomey has a resolution in memorandum,
That's the document 368 that we already did?
and we did that tonight, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah, so shouldn't it have been withdrawn from table items?
Well, it will automatically,
It
since
was
the
taken
resolution
care
took
of.
place, it will automatically be removed.
Okay, so we took it out of table items when he did it? All right.
Okay, if there is no matters out of table matters, I
one
will
matter, one
move
matter.
ahead to the new business. I'm sorry. Yes, Roger.
Document 26015, 6015,
216,
community block party,
Community
Dorito
block party.
26015.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay. You want to make a motion to take it out of matter?
Take it out.
Out of
take it
table matters?
Take it out of table matters,
Second.
yeah.
There's a motion to take document 26015 out of table matters. It has been properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Motion to withdraw it?
Just let me provide you with some information on that.
Okay.
This document, we were not able to do the block party because the people that were organizing it, one of the ladies gave birth, so we had to cancel it.
One of the neighbors what?
Huh?
What did you say? Oh, gave birth.
One of the organizers gave birth to a baby.
Thankfully.
So we were not able, the people that were helping us to organize, were not able to continue the organization, so we cancel it. I would like to leave it in the table matter so that maybe in the spring, or if you prefer, we can remove it and then put it back we can put it back in the spring, because I would like to definitely do this in the spring.
But we always say it takes a year, right?
Huh?
A year to deal with the same item?
Without prejudice?
We could,
Well, sometimes we have more than a year with the items that we have in the agenda, sometimes
So
that
no,
go back
I'm
to
just-
2012, 2013, so.
Yeah.
As
I
a matter of
mean,
fact, if you look at document 14811, that goes back to 2011.
No, I'm only questioning whether we're gonna have enough time
Or to
for
put
it
them
to
in.
be a
Yeah,
year.
the-
If not, then we should just leave it.
Yeah.
And bring it back.
we could
Exactly.
In
withdraw with
February or
no,
something.
without prejudice.
We can do both. We can either leave it and not touch it, or we can withdraw it without prejudice, and that's fine. I don't have a problem either way.
Because I think
So,
if you're gonna
if
do
there
something in
is-
the spring, it should come
Yes.
up in February so that you
Yes.
have
Yes.
time.
If there is a preference, by all means, I will entertain a motion if there is a preference to either leave it or withdraw it without prejudice, so.
I don't care.
Okay?
And
Motion to retable?
I'm sorry.
Motion to retable the item?
Motion to table.
Second.
Is there a second? Motion has been made to table, and it has been properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Take
Yes, sir.
document number 14811 off the table, because I got some dirty looks.
140?
14811.
What document is that?
Second?
I mean, sorry, tell me, 14811?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to take document 14811 and our table matters. It has been properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So
Go ahead,
here's,
Mr. Black.
here's the update. Merrimack Street is, if anybody's traveled along there, is in the middle of construction at this point. I want to see what happens with the remainder of that project. That project will probably be completed sometime in the early part or mid part of next year. And so there may be parking issues that are related to it. So I want to keep this on the table matter just in case we need to address parking at that time, which is why that's been on there for as long as it has. So I make a motion to table that item.
Motion has been made to table item 14811, and it has been properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay.
I have a question. With the 22413,
I'm sorry?
I have a question about document 22413. I'd like to take it off of table items for a couple of minutes.
Second.
Thank
Motion
you.
has been made to take document 22413 out of table items. It has been properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go ahead, Madam
Yes,
Vice President.
Mr. President, I was inquiring whether this document had been sent to the planning, department. not
Yes, the
commission, but
last,
planning
the last
department.
thing, the last meeting that we were conducting the public hearing, we agreed that we were gonna send that back so that they could discuss it and come back with a further recommendation. So that is still pending. We are waiting for them to come back to
Okay,
us.
so we keep this here
Yes,
until they're done and come back?
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
did you get a sense that that would be taking like a
I
long
didn't, I didn't
time,
make,
or-
I didn't take the sense that it was going to last a long time, but it is there. Maybe, maybe what we should do is send communication to Mr.,
Ms. Parks?
no, what's his name?
John Stanzo.
Yes, Jonas.
Jonas.
Jonas, yes. We should send some communications to post us on what is going on with that.
Okay, we can, but he didn't know how long the process would be. I spent a long time talking to him.
Okay.
And he said all he knew was that it was sent to the planning department, but he himself didn't get a sense of how soon that would be on her plate.
Okay. Then it's just a matter of waiting and until they come back.
Right. He also had discussions with people that he said thought that he didn't reach out to them when he did.
Okay.
So he's working that out.
Okay.
All right. So they will keep it here then.
Make a motion to table it?
Yes, go, motion to retable.
Second.
Motion to table document 22413. It has been properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Any more documents out of table matters? If there is none, councilors, I would like to assign new documents. Document 31415, Water and Sewer Department Rules and Regulations to Ordinance Committee. Document 31515, Parkland Acquisition and Renovation is going to the Housing Committee. Document 31615, Acceptance of Distressed Properties Identification, et cetera, is going to the Housing Committee. Document 31715, Handicap Parking, to the Ordinance Committee. Document 31815, Appointment on Commission on Disability, is going to the Personnel Committee. Document 31915, Appointment of the Lawrence City Development Authority, is going to the Personnel Committee. Document 32015, New Voting Machines, that's going to, do you want that to go to the Budget and Finance Committee?
If, Council President, you could send both first to the Budget and Finance and then ordinance as well simultaneously.
Okay.
It entails both.
Okay, so it's going both to Budget and Finance Committee and the Ordinance Committee. And document 32115 is the handicap parking, is going to the Ordinance Committee. Document 32215, councilors, I'm going to send to this document to the committee as a whole. I believe this document is, needs to be listened to and scrutinized by the committee as a whole. There's going to be several people. I gave some information to Councilor Vice President
Yes.
Alvarez. We're going to need Mr. Ionello. We're going to need the city attorney. And we're also going to need the personnel director for this meeting to answer questions
Okay, so-
about these items. Yes.
I'm willing to meet Monday if everybody can be here on Monday.
Monday next week?
The 23rd?
Monday, the 23rd.
Board of Registrars meeting all night.
Okay.
You have
The
a
Board of
meeting?
Registrar is meeting on the 23rd.
The Board of Registrar?
Yeah, they are continuing how about the 24th?
The 24th is
It's a
when?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 24th, okay.
Is that okay with everyone?
I just want to let you know, we have a housing committee meeting on the 23rd.
The
And they have a
23rd?
registrar.
I didn't see it on the listing with Ms. Waters.
There was a mix-up through no
Right.
fault of our own.
Yeah, this time wasn't our fault.
You know what I'm talking about? All right. And so then we said we're going to have the meeting on the 23rd because we didn't want to have it last night and then rush it for tonight.
Yes.
And then there's things, I mean, now you put two more things that are on there that are heavy duty, so.
Well, I mean, I certainly, I'd looked at the calendar to try to determine, I think we discussed that there were no meetings. If you want, I can still schedule the Board of Registrars for Tuesday, but the parties have, I'll notify the parties.
No. Can you get the housing committee on Wednesday?
The day before Thanksgiving, that the clerk already made mention, a sacred holiday of some sort?
Sacred holiday?
They all have to do cooking.
Unless
men.
unless the housing committee can meet before the committee as a whole, or after.
How long is this committee on the whole gonna last?
It all depends.
All depends.
It seems like it's gonna be more than just a 5-minute conversation.
I am sure it's going to be, yes.
So why don't we have the,
Can the housing committee meet
The
before,
housing-
at 6?
first?
6:30?
It's gonna-
And then we can,
We have items from the last meeting that we didn't, plus these items, so we haven't met in some time. I
Yes,
don't
I
mind trying
understand.
to accommodate schedules. We just can't, for the courtesies of the membership, we can't have it prior to 7 o'clock. It's unfair to those who have to travel to try to get into the meeting on time, so.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that, I mean, we could make the committee as a whole at 8.
What's that?
We could make it at 8. The
Committee of the whole
committee
at
as
8
a whole.
o'clock. I think if we have a housing committee at 7, I think we can probably wrap it up within an hour. If we put our minds to it, I think we can get it done in an hour.
Okay.
okay.
So,
Then let's
and
agree on
The
that
committee
then.
as a whole at 8 o'clock.
The housing committee at 7 and the committee as a whole at 8 o'clock.
So if you're not a housing,
So which
23rd.
The 24th.
The
Oh, the
24th or the
24th? I thought it was the 23rd.
That's Tuesday, the 24th, because the 23rd is the voter register. And they are
The
conducting
24th
some
is
hearings.
Tuesday. They said it was a
Week
Tuesday.
of Thanksgiving.
I can't make it.
Is it a
I
Tuesday?
can't make it on Tuesday.
I'm sorry?
Tuesday, the 24th, guys. So the committee as a whole would be at 8 o'clock, and 7 o'clock would be housing.
Yes.
What's the date?
No. I mean,
I'm sorry?
What's the date?
Housing meets at 7.
housing at 7, and then 8
8
as a whole.
o'clock
Committee
as
as
a
a
whole.
whole, yes.
Right
Which
I'm sorry, what would you say, Mr.
means
Plant?
everybody.
I'm not gonna be able to make it. I can't make the 24th. I'm
You
out.
can make the 24th?
Me
Tuesday?
neither, me neither.
You can't make Tuesday?
Nope.
I'm sorry. I don't wanna see the ad in the newspaper of divorce court. There's nothing going on. I can't make it.
The
I can't
okay.
I answer to a higher power.
We're on your side. We don't want you divorced either.
What's the rush on the committee of the whole?
Yes,
Mr. President?
yeah.
What-
We want every gentleman in this
Mr. President?
body to
Just give me one,
preserve their
just give me 1 second.
relationships.
Just give me 1 second. Let me look at the calendar and see if there's anything. The only other day is the 30th.
No, because I'm going to be in New York.
How about this Thursday, the 19th? This Thursday, the 19th?
We have an ordinance committee
We
meeting.
have ordinance.
Ordinance.
When's personnel, by the way?
Do we have a lot in
Personnel, I
ordinance?
wanted to have it on
Maybe
the
we can do
23rd,
it
but I
after
guess now I'm
ordinance.
not
It's
gonna be
only,
able to.
yeah, the ordinance,
Appointments.
Got a lot? I didn't think we had a lot in ordinance.
This is why we need to be, like I've always said, we need to be full-time counselors, do this during the day.
huh?
Do we have to
Esa es la
have a
vaina.
meeting here?
need
If
be
we have to
able
have the meeting
We
here,
have to have a meeting here. Can we have a meeting at the library?
to have my personnel committee meeting on the 23rd, but I see that.
I mean, either the Board of Registrars or, I
See,
mean,
this is
I'm
what
willing to have a meeting at the library. I'm willing to, if they have a room there, they've got a
Now they-
camera
now- now
there.
you see it,
We have the
John, right?
old place where the school committee meets with a camera.
Well,
The venue's not that, I don't think is important. We just need to make sure we have a place.
The venue is rather important for the board in order to memorialize for court proceedings, that's correct.
But for us, for the committee, it's not as important. If you could help me, clerk, and you can tell me whether or not we could have a meeting on the 23rd for the housing committee that we originally scheduled, and we have it at the school department area, could that work?
I think that the impetus to have meetings in this hearing room is to have the availability of the camera.
But there's cameras at that room.
And for public, immediate public consumption if possible.
And we will advertise it as
If that is the goal here, by getting it to the library and that is accomplished to your satisfaction, to the council's satisfaction, I don't see any reason why not. Again, it would be, again, I hate to say temporary until the board is concluded its session on this. We're expecting a one-nighter, all-nighter.
So my question to you remains,
I think so,
Do you-
yes.
I'll repeat it again, I want to make sure I'm clear on it. Do you think that we could actually have the meeting in the school department where the school committee typically has their meetings? They have the camera set up, all that's over there, we got a space. I don't have any information, so maybe one of the former school committee meeting member could share some light on that.
I know that throughout the district that they're gonna have different events for Thanksgiving, and that's gonna be held on Tuesdays, throughout different places in different schools. So I don't know if the personnel from there is gonna be available
Monday.
on Monday or Tuesday. So it's fair for them to, first ask to see if they're gonna be up there, because I know that they're gonna have different events and activities for parents and students at night. So I'm already, I know for a fact that at the Gilmet, they're gonna have one event on the 22nd. And it'll be fair for them to know, and that way they can schedule.
22nd is a Sunday.
No, I mean, on Monday, I know, on Monday or Tuesday, either or.
Monday the 23rd.
I know that it's gonna be an event over there for the parents and students at night, and they most likely, record sun shots and stuff like that when that happen.
So we don't know, in other words?
We don't know.
Okay.
I personally don't know. It'll be fair for them to know, to see if they're available. That's all I need to say.
So if it's all right with the other members of the committee, of which you're one, and Counselor Alvarez, and, is that it, 1, 2, 3? Oh, Counselor Amate. If that's all right, we can see if we can have that on the 7 o'clock on Monday. Will that work for you if we can get that venue? Does that time work?
7 o'clock on Monday is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What is it that we're having here that we can't have our meeting?
The committee as a whole,
The Board of Registrar is conducting some hearings on a second recall.
All right, that's fine.
just,
And I will
I
ask,
just,
and then I will also ask, if we
So,
can't get that, I'll ask if
can
the
we-
library is available. That's
Okay, can we
just like to
tentatively,
interject that we can ask John about the whole question with the schools, he's from the school department, and.
he was.
Was? He's no longer with them?
He's one of
us. Resigned.
What?
John?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that you were talking about
No,
our
John.
city council. Oh, okay.
John, the person
okay.
that's responsible for
Okay.
for the taping and everything, they're actually from the schools,
He works at the vocations.
It's the vocational school,
vocational school, and
not, well, can we tentatively schedule the 23rd at
for the committee as a whole,
the committee as a whole, at the
That's only what, how many items?
school committee meeting
on
room?
Tuesday, the 23rd?
The 23rd.
Tuesday, the
Monday.
23rd.
Monday
Monday.
is the 23rd.
And that's gonna
Monday,
be
The
tentative.
24th, then, if you're talking about.
No, the
Tuesday.
24th, there are two
Tuesday.
councils, there are two councils that cannot attend the 24th.
Right.
And I think that this is a very important matter that they should
I'll
be
think at
present.
7 o'clock, committee in the whole at 8 o'clock on Monday the 23rd. That's the goal.
Okay?
Okay, so what happens to the people that are meeting here?
No.
I'm confused.
No, the 23rd, we are scheduling tentatively the committee as a whole, but the meeting will be conducted at the Lawrence School Committee, meeting room,
If it's available.
if it is available, yes.
Okay.
Giovanni, will you be able to confirm that with us?
Yeah, I can
Will
make a
you
couple
please?
of phone calls.
Okay, thank you. Will you, Giovanni, will you call Nilka?
To let me know.
When you're able to
I
confirm?
will, for sure.
Okay?
I'll give you my number.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, okay, great. Okay. Are there any other questions on this matter? Roger?
Not in that matter. I was thinking about the committee on the whole.
Yes.
Is there a really rush on that right now? Can we do that sometime in December?
I'm sorry?
Can you do it sometime in December versus trying to pull it into one of these days just before Thanksgiving?
I think this is a very important matter that needs to be addressed immediately.
Well, I know it's going to be addressed, but
Yes.
eventually, it's going to be addressed. But why can't it be addressed sometime in early December versus trying to fit it into the problems that we're having here, trying to locate?
That would be the wish of the council. If you prefer that you want to delay this until December, that's fine with me.
Just a thought.
But,
I'm actually okay with whatever people
Mhm.
feel they want to do.
Yeah.
If
It's
you,
n- you know.
if you guys wanted to switch committee in the whole so I could have personnel on Monday, I would greatly appreciate it, for the simple fact that I can't have it on Thursday because of the posting. I will be able to have it on Friday because we are doing the thing for the council members that are gonna be leaving. Monday would be personnel, Tuesday would be, that's gonna be housing and committee in the whole
Wait a
Tuesday,
minute,
then
I'm
Wednesday,
confused.
so I won't be able to do my appointments.
This Thursday, we're doing the
I won't be able
farewell?
to, no, it would be Friday.
Oh, Friday, okay,
But I won't be able to because it has to be posted. Because of the posting, you have to post the meetings.
right.
So I wouldn't be able to do it this week. And then Monday, it would be, if you guys are gonna do housing and committee in the whole, then I won't be able to do personnel. Tuesday, I won't be able to do it because of
I
the
was
numbers.
trying to give him my,
Wednesday, then we go into Thanksgiving. So if we could move committee in the whole, it would create,
Right.
it would work for personnel.
Yes.
trying to call you.
Okay, so the suggestion is that we move it to December, the
Yes.
committee as a whole?
If we could do that.
Yeah,
Right.
if everybody's okay with that, but then we, would,
On the 30th, can't we meet on the 30th? Wasn't there a suggestion about the 30th? We can do committee in the whole on the
30th?
Just indicated that she was, did you say that you were not gonna be here on the 30th?
No, I plan to be in New York.
Okay.
Do you want to
When do
give
you
me
come
the,
back?
you got to give me the chorus for that. I got that one without the chorus.
When do you come back?
Huh?
I'm
When
ready
are you
to-
coming back?
Probably December 1st, yeah, the next day.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, let's make a motion to have it on December.
So December 1st,
December 1st is our full council meeting.
right, so
The second?
the
The
second,
second
Or it could take-
is ordinance, is the Budget and Finance Committee planning to have a meeting on the 2nd?
We're meeting,
December 2nd,
yeah, but we also meet tomorrow.
okay.
but
You're
are you
meeting
planning to
tomorrow.
have December 2nd?
Councilor Reyes,
What is it?
are you able to make tomorrow's meeting? Yes. So we have a meeting tomorrow?
You're having a meeting tomorrow? Okay.
Right.
Okay, we can,
So
why
can
don't we do the committee as a whole on the 2nd?
Okay,
And,
did you hear
Oh,
that?
Dave will be here.
Did you hear
Are
that?
you able to make it tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
For budget and finance?
Trying to, yes, because I talked to the council president last night, yes.
Okay.
Okay, December 2nd
So Dave?
will then be the committee as a whole.
Yes, okay? December 2nd will be the committee as a whole.
Okay,
Tuesday.
Okay, great.
Wednesday, right?
So, that's
December
a
2nd
Wednesday,
is-
yes.
Is Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay,
At 7 PM,
18 minutes.
Councilor Almonte, are you going to post then your meeting on the,
So personnel will take place Monday, the 23rd at 7 PM. Oh,
Where?
are you doing housing at 7?
where?
have it at 7.
So I'll do it
8
when,
o'clock.
it'll follow housing. So 8 o'clock?
Yeah, I think housing should go
That's going to
first.
be at the library.
No.
The 23rd is the, again, the,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We won't know.
The
if it's
recall.
an actual
the
meeting.
committee.
It's gonna be at the school department, that's the idea.
Yeah, well, are you gonna
Oh,
confirm?
that's what I'm saying, yes.
We don't know.
At the school committee department.
That's the number one, number two is at the library if you can't get that.
Yes, okay.
Pending that confirmation
Yeah,
from the school.
yeah, so the 23rd, we're going to have two committees, personal committee and the housing committee.
Okay.
And it will be where, at the school or,
At the meeting room of the school committee, once it is confirmed.
yeah, well, why can't the Board of Registrar go to the,
You can't.
move to the,
Go wherever you guys want me to go.
Yeah, why don't they go over there? Why do we need to move? Isn't this council chambers?
yeah,
We're working
Again.
for the ages.
so,
Whatever
You
the
know.
wish of the council.
the 23rd. So if you guys can take your show on the road, we should be able to meet here.
Yes, I know that, I know that.
So the committee can go to
The-
the school or,
Do you see any problem in going to the meeting room of the school committee?
Yes.
Okay, you see a problem?
Yes,
Would
the
you-
problem is that it would not be recorded, and we would not have the recording available for the court.
Okay, okay. Then that is a
why
problem.
would it not be
That
recorded?
settles it.
You're telling us that if we go over there, we could be recorded.
Again, I think there's a significant public interest also in the recall effort that,
Yeah.
I mean, you can do the board of registrars on a remote, because I don't think it's imperative that it has to go live. We have equipment to film it.
there's significant public interest to see the event. I certainly defer to the council. I don't want to be a stumbling block for it. If you guys tell me to have the meeting on Essex Street, we'll have it on Essex Street. But again, I think there's a significant public interest in the recall effort, and I think that's the prime motivator.
The only other thing I'll leave you with is, it's also technically a violation of the cable contract. PEG system, Public Educational Government. Educational is off Channel 10. Government business has to be conducted on the government channel. And there is a stream of
I could get
revenue
a
that goes to those
calendar.
particular
I'm
channels.
never very good at this.
Just for your edification.
Okay. Councilors, I don't want to move the Board of Register meeting because of the sensitive nature on both parts of the parties that are represented. I don't want to create any excuse for either parties to say that the movement of the meeting affected either side. So I'd rather leave the Board of Register conducting their hearings here and now. Okay. Where we go from here?
So Monday, are we doing personnel and housing on Monday?
Huh?
Personnel and housing will be on Monday.
No,
Where?
no.
We're not
because
gonna
I
be able
mean-
to have it because of the,
No, because of the regulations
because of
from the
the,
cable.
exactly.
We have
Okay.
to
We're
go
not gonna-
somewhere
We
else.
won't be able to on the
We will not be able to because of the, where it needs to be under government access television, which is 22 or 42. We can't do it on Channel 10 because it's an educational
Okay,
channel.
hold it. The 30th, if Vice President Rodriguez don't mind, we're going to have a quorum, and we can conduct the Personnel Committee and the Housing Committee on Monday, the 30th. Do you guys have any objection on the Housing Committee on the 30th?
I know, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yes, I know that. We can.
I wanted to be part of
The
it.
matter of the Personnel Committee is very simple. It's a very straightforward, that it's not going to take more than.
15 minutes.
More than 15 minutes, so. You can allow the Personnel Committee to conduct their business first, and,
So November 30th?
yeah, November 30th.
I won't be.
No, I know that you won't be here, but we're going to have quorum. So if you don't
Well,
mind.
I do mind, but, you know.
So personnel is on 11th?
Okay. Okay, look, we are not gonna get into a
Well, it's lucky for you guys to have all your family here, but.
no. I mean, we want you to have fun. You're going to New York, have fun there.
No, I
That's
can't have
okay.
fun knowing that, you know, this
But
stuff
that-
is
but that's
happening.
okay. It is,
And then it makes it look like I didn't want to be.
no,
here. Nobody.
That we could, if they go up to full council, we can ask questions. They're just,
They are board appointments.
simple
And you will have the chance to, at the full council meeting, to ask questions,
Commission on Disability and Redevelopment Authority.
okay? So let's, the decision is to conduct the Personnel Committee meeting on the 30th and the Housing Committee meeting on the 30th at the same time. The Personnel Committee will take about 15 minutes, and then the rest of the time will be available for the Housing Committee, okay? So let's keep it that way.
The committee as a whole, when we're gonna have it?
The committee as a whole is going to meet on the 2nd of December.
Of December.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
The 2nd.
So December 2nd, that's a Budget and Finance Committee.
7 p.m.
We can probably
Work something else.
move it along.
No, we're gonna have personnel and then housing needs.
No.
So let's do the Budget and Finance at 7 and Committee as a whole at 7:30.
Are you going to have any items there? Can you recall whether you're going to have any items?
All the items were sent down for tomorrow, so.
All the items, which is, let's see how many.
On the second, and then we're gonna.
Oh, there's only one.
No, I will recommend, Mr. President, that we actually take 3/16/15 and send it to Budget and Finance due to the fact that it is an acceptance of a grant.
Oh, to send that one, rather than the Housing Committee, to send it to the,
It's the acceptance of a grant.
Oh, okay, and that's going to the, not the Housing Committee, but the Budget and Finance.
That's a suggestion that I
Yes,
made.
yeah, okay. Document 31615 is going to the Budget and Finance. Okay, so you're gonna have two items.
That's tomorrow. But
Yes.
for the second, I don't know what I'm going to have, because remember that all of the documents get reassigned on the day
Yes,
before.
but that's okay.
But then we
That's
can
okay.
wait until
We can,
then.
we can always,
But we have to give the city attorney, the city clerk, the opportunity to publish. So if we do have items, we need to
Well, they
publish
look
budget and
alike.
finance for 7 PM. And I'm suggesting committee as a whole at 7:30 PM. So both meetings don't overlap in the timing when we do the publication. Does that make sense?
So the second at 7:30 is in the hall, committee in the hall.
Yeah, the second.
okay?
Budget and finance is that same night?
I thought they said they were,
Budget and Finance will be,
At 7 PM. And committee as a whole, 7:30.
okay,
okay.
Just in case we
7:30
do get any
committee of the
items.
whole, And
Good.
7 o'clock, budget and finance. Are you in budget and finance?
great.
Very straightforward.
Okay, now that we solved all the problems of the well,
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
So move.
there's a motion to adjourn. It has been properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
To date, I have.
Okay.